Oh, that should stay on. Hi, all.
Hey, good evening. You guys hear me okay? Dan?
Yep.
Hey. I think we're gonna struggle with a quorum tonight. Yeah, Dave Mangan won't be with us, and I don't know if, yeah, Bob Vincent, I don't think plans to dial in. So we'll see. And I just got a note that Bill Curran is out with COVID. He's very sick.
Hey, Paul? Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
yes, I can, yes.
I can't hear you.
Ah,
Did everybody else hear him, or is it just me?
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
testing 1, 2, 3, Marion.
All right, I'm gonna go out and come back in and see if I can get connected to you, because I can't hear you.
Can't hear me at all? Okay,
I'll come back in.
all righty. Let me just see, closed caption. All right, navel. Just checking the settings. All right.
All right,
Well, now I hear you.
let me try this.
You got it?
Yep, I got it.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, that's good.
Now I just have to get my picture back. Now I got to go out again. Oh. I've been having, I'm probably gonna have to go out again and come in. I've been having trouble with this computer all day. There we are.
You got to put a quarter in it.
Okay, yeah. All day, every time I've gone on, yeah, something has gone wrong. So it's been giving me trouble all day. So I'm not surprised. But I can hear you now.
No, oof. Yeah, we're still waiting so I got, I'm waiting to hear from Joe, Mark, Sean, Michael, and Christy.
Okay.
And we got 5. 4. We're gonna need 2 more to make a quorum. Nancy doesn't count,
Right.
and neither does, actually, neither does Bob Vincent or David Mangan. So I guess, Mr. Secretary, you want to try reaching out, Rob, to see if you can get Joe, Mark, Sean, Mike, and Christie?
You didn't hear from any of them?
No.
Okay.
Oh, there's Joe.
Okay, Joe just popped up. So Mark, Sean, Mike, and Christie. If you get one of them, we can start. And we got a quorum. So there's a rumor going around town that Tom Brady's going to join the Veterans Advisory Board.
Well, he better find something to do because he shouldn't be playing football anymore.
Yeah. My advice to him would be run away as far away as you can get from
Yeah.
football.
I agree. I don't know why he didn't retire and go out on top. And to have his if this is his last game, awful. What an awful game.
It was a snoozer. It was really
Oh.
uneventful. And
I
now
think
I
it's
gotta,
gonna be Viva Las Vegas, I think.
yeah, but I gotta put up with my in-laws in Texas. So now, now I don't have a leg to stand on. Closest thing I got is Buffalo. I think that I'd like to see them win.
That was a great game that Miami.
Yes,
That was a fabulous game.
it was good. I also enjoyed the Jacksonville game. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was
What a funk.
I fell asleep and I turned on my phone the next day. I was like, what? And I was like searching for the reviews and everything saying, how can that be? That game was in the bag. The Chargers lost. I don't know how they messed that one up. I don't know how, but they missed the field goal. If they got that one field goal, they would have made it.
Look at the guy last night that missed 4 extra points.
4 extra points. I couldn't believe it.
Yes, yeah.
Texas. Unbelievable.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start as though these guys are going to join, because I know we have a secretary that can reach out and touch these people anytime, anyway. So we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance, hoping that these others join in. So I'll start right here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, Joe, welcome. Happy New Year.
You're on mute, Joe.
You're on, there you
There you
go.
go.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Good to see you. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm missing. We have a total of 5, 6. Who's? Okay. So we've got 5. We have a quorum. Okay. So Rob, you got the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah.
Are there any questions about the December minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes for December?
Motion to approve.
Second,
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are approved. Thank you for putting that together. Please tell Sherry Happy New Year when you send them to her.
Will do.
So I have the, I do have the VSO report, and I won't be able to read it like Dave Mangan does, but I will read it. I made one small change, and I'll note that as I go through this. But the Veterans Service Officer report from David Mangan, dated January 17, 2023. The Wakefield Veterans Monthly Food Bank will be held tomorrow, Wednesday, January 18th, from 10 a.m. through noon behind the Senior Center on 30 Converse Street in Wakefield. We currently have 22 participants in the program. Both the Wakefield Food Pantry and the Greater Boston Food Bank contribute to this humanitarian effort. The recipients will be the recipients were extremely pleased with the additional donations of gift cards for Shaw's and Market Basket to help during the holidays. Under Chapter 115 of Massachusetts General Laws, the Commonwealth provides a uniform program of financial and medical assistance to veterans and for their dependents. Qualifying veterans and their dependents receive necessary financial assistance for food, shelter, clothing, fuel, and medical care in accordance with a formula that takes into consideration the number of dependents and income from all sources. The maximum income number in family is $2,265. The maximum income in family with 2 family members is $3,052. Maximum assets, not counting home or vehicle, for a single member is $8,400 received a month. And for a married couple, it's $16,600 a month. As of January 1st, the PACT Act letters have been going out to any veterans or surviving spouses who in the past were denied compensation for service-connected issues up to and including death. As the VSO has mentioned in the past, if a veteran currently has a disability compensation with the VA and they have a lawyer seeking further compensation, then the VA will deduct any award they receive as a result of the lawyer suing. You cannot sue the VA twice. The amount will be deducted from the monthly claim the veteran has been awarded. On January 1st, 2023, the Department of Veterans Affairs will open enrollment for Veterans Affairs life insurance, the first new VA life insurance program for veterans in more than 50 years, extending the VA life access to millions of veterans. 12/1/22, a VA life will provide up to $40,000 whole life insurance for all veterans ages 80 or under with service-connected disabilities that are rated from 0 to 100%. Acceptance into this program is guaranteed and no medical underwriting is required. And this is what I added to our VSO's report. Additional VA life insurance information is also available on the website, available at www.va.gov/lifeinsurance/options eligibility/VA life. There's some cost charts that are available for you to take a look at. The cost of living adjustment, the COLA, was granted at 8.7% for veterans as of January 1st. This is the largest increase in over 30 years. The VSO also wants to remind everybody that the Coffee Social is to be held this Saturday, January 21st, at the Quantapowhat Yacht Club on Linda Road from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. All veterans from every branch are invited to come and socialize with fellow veterans. There will be several handouts and information pertaining to benefits and compensation information. All VA facilities and clinics that administer COVID-19 vaccines are accepting walk-ins for eligible veterans, spouses, and caregivers. For any appointment for Veteran Services, just a reminder, the Veteran Services is located downstairs at the Senior Center on 30 Converse Street in Wakefield. And appointments can be made during the following hours: Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Holidays, if a holiday is on a Monday, the hours will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Voicemails are checked checked 7 days a week. And you may contact the office for an appointment at 781-246-6377. Are there any questions about the VSO's report for January? He apologizes for not physically being here, but he has an alumni gathering of service members from Vietnam that he's attending tonight. Any questions for the report? Is there a motion to accept his report? Okay, Robert, all those seconded, all those in favor of the Veteran Service Officer's report?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Robert, I'll send a copy to you. I did include the website in the narrative that I did for the VA life insurance policies that they added.
Okay.
I'm going to turn this over to Dan, and actually we have a guest tonight, Nancy Bertrand, to talk to us and kind of educate us about the Soldiers and Sailors monument that we have in the, I get confused, is it the lower common or the upper common?
Veterans Memorial Common.
Veterans Memorial Common. Okay, I think it's the lower common.
Upper.
Upper common.
It's the upper common. Okay, the lower common is where the gazebo is. The upper common is where the memorial is.
Right.
But Nancy's here tonight. She is our town historian and a subject matter expert on a lot of things about the town of Wakefield and a lot of memorials about the town of Wakefield also. Knock, knock, Nancy. How are you doing? Welcome, Nancy.
Hi, thank you for letting me Zoom into your meeting. I didn't know I was going to be asked to give any kind of history, so I'm not prepared. I was just going to listen and find out what was going on with the assessment for the repair of the monument.
Okay. Dan, you want to kind of bring us up to date?
No, I was at the meeting with Joe Conway, and we basically had somebody that came out from, I can't pronounce the name of the company. It's a restoration company. It's
Daedalus.
Yeah,
It's
Daedalus.
Daedalus.
But he
Let me
looked at.
spell it. Sorry, Dan.
Go ahead.
I was going to spell it. It's Daedalus. It's hard to pronounce.
But anyway, he was out looking with Joe Conway and myself. I tagged along. It was kind of a miserable day, but he looked at it. He thought the structure was pretty solid as far as the structure itself, but it was separating. And, of course, the statues had legs missing or fingers missing or arms. And he still thought it would be several $100,000 to, but I think they're still waiting for another assessment on it. And I think some of that funding is from the town AFRA funding. And that's about all I know. I haven't got any more emails on it since.
To the best of my report, and the best of my knowledge, I should say, and correspondence with Bob Vincent, we don't have the report yet that they did. DPW hasn't received it.
They did a full assessment on the monument 15 years ago. And at that time, they estimated that it would cost $250,000 to fully repair the monument.
Do we know where that is?
Where the assessment,
Yes,
I do have that. I can email it to you if you like.
that would be helpful.
Okay.
Because that would kind of help us to establish a baseline on how to start this process.
Did you say they're gonna do a second assessment, Dan?
Yeah, I think they were supposed to do some kind of almost like an X-raying of the monument itself. But
Oh.
the guy that was there the other day thought it was pretty solid and you wouldn't really see much. But I think it's just a little more looking at, if it needs to be repointed or leaded or, some kind of mortaring that has to be done to it. But they still have not had a real assessment on it yet.
Okay, thank you.
And this assessment that they're doing includes the monument itself, the fencing around it, and I thought they said the two cannons.
Well, surely the most important thing is the monument itself, because we want to make sure that it's, that it is sound, and that they had done some kind of repairs on it a long time ago, but we're not sure how good those repairs are or how they would hold up to time. And that's why they were taking another look at it. And from what I understood, this guy came out and just, gave it a once over, just looking at it, but then was going to prepare like of an overview that the town would bid on in order to have them actually do the actual assessment. And I think, and I know the town council had appropriated $10,000 for this purpose. And so that's just getting us in the door of finding out what's wrong with it. After that, if they decide to go ahead with it, they would give a menu of, okay, for this much money, you can have this done. And a priority list of the repairs needed. That's the impression I got.
Yeah, that's basically what they were saying. But I think the fencing and the cannons, I think they were trying to combine everything together to get a good price on it. If you're gonna do one, you may as well do everything then.
Does anybody have any other questions about the Soldiers and Sailors Monument? There's a little bit, I do have one question, Nancy. This sometimes is referred to as the Civil War Monument. And I do believe that the sign outside says Soldiers and Sailors Monument. Do you know what's correct?
We call it both things. I have a write-up on it on the wakefieldhistory.org online for the full history of it. It is called the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, but it is dedicated to Civil War. And it was donated with money donated by a lady named Harriet Flint. And it was actually erected in 1902, so many, many years after the Civil War had ended. But they went really top flight with hiring the sculptor and all of the people working on the monument, so that it really, the same company did monuments in Gettysburg, for example, and Washington, D.C., and other cities across the region and across the country. So it really is not just a wonderful monument to Civil War veterans and Civil War soldiers, but also it's actually a work of art. It's a work public sculpture, and definitely something of great patriotic value, and something, I think it's an exciting opportunity if the town wants to take it on, to restore and to respect this historical monument.
I think, Nancy, if you see some pictures of the ceremony when it was erected on the upper common or Veterans Memorial Common, there was quite a crowd there, and I believe even the governor of Massachusetts was there.
That's right, Dan. He was there. He was there on that day. And I actually put it on the front cover of one of my little books, Wakefield Revisited. It was a wonderful day for the town of Wakefield. And yeah, it was, so let's hope that we can begin the process of at least finding out how we can stabilize it, as if it needs stabilization, and how far we can go. The Mass Historical Commission once a year has a preservation project fund, and communities can apply for that. Unfortunately, the deadline date for that is March 17th. So we would never be able to apply for funding this year, especially since it is for matching funds. So if we had to apply for $125,000, for example, then the town would have to come up with $125,000, which maybe is not possible, but maybe it is with those ARPA funds that Dan had referred to.
Nancy, thank you very much. Any questions for Nancy about the monument? Nancy, as always, you do a great job in town, and I just want to appreciate the time and the effort that you put into maintaining the monuments and the culture and those things that make Wakefield a pretty special place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. And we look forward to working with your committee. Hopefully the Historical Commission can work with you guys in order to ultimately, and the DPW, of course, in order to restore the monument. But thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Going to move on to the Veterans Coffee Social. Christy is usually on, but I'll have David contact her. She usually helps to set that up with David. One of the subjects Saturday that I think should be discussed, and I'll talk to David about this, our veteran service officer, is that new VA life insurance policy. I took a quick gander at it. It's actually pretty comprehensive. One nice function about it, it is a whole life policy, which means that the money that you kick into it, okay, it takes I think it's a 2-year period before you get accepted and enrolled into the program. But as you're putting money toward the policy, should something happen to the service member, you will get all that money back. Okay, it's not lost. So the money you put into it, you'll get back, even if it's less than that 2-year period, which is kind of interesting, because not all policies are like that. But there's a lot of comprehensive information out there on the VA website about it. Something worth checking into. The next item on the agenda is the Veterans Corner, and I kind of brought this up only because it hasn't been on the agendas recently. And what the Veterans Corner is basically a section in the Wakefield Daily Item to publish an article having to do with veterans, having to do with the military. And I think it's appropriate for me to share here in this forum some subjects that others may be interested to kind of pick up on and submit. I learned through social media today from the Medal of Honor Society that it has been approved for the United States Navy has approved the construction of the USS Thomas Kelly. Thomas Kelly is the Medal of Honor, another Medal of Honor recipient who is currently with us here in Massachusetts. And I actually was sitting next to him in a movie theater as we saw the movie Devotion in December. He's doing very well. I did not know that that was even in the mill for a decision. But according to the Medal of Honor Society on the social media, that decision to proceed has been made. And that's another ship named after another Medal of Honor recipient here in Massachusetts, which I think is a tremendous honor. I have no idea. Don't ask me what class. I don't know all the details about it, but that would be a topic potentially for the Veterans Corner. And this
Believe-
article, go
I
ahead.
believe he- From South Boston, was it?
What's the question?
He was from South Boston, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, and I know he received the Medal of Honor. I believe he was either the commander or he was on one of the mobile riverine force boats.
Yes.
And I know the unit I was in Vietnam, we supplied that unit, mobile riverine force.
Really? Okay.
They did the Mekong River and we were right in Dong Tam.
Well, he also served as the Secretary for Veteran Services here in Massachusetts for a period of time. Actually, quite a long period of time.
He's a nice guy. I've met him a couple of times. He is a
Yeah.
nice guy, nice man.
I had the honor, of sitting next to him. Both he and his wife, very pleasant. And that was by chance. One of the other topics that I just I don't know what to do with this, but the Veterans Corner in the Wakefield Daily Item kind of came up to mind. I'll share with you guys. I got some personal notes. I got this Christmas ornament from the commander and crew of the USS Tom Hudner. And it's an interesting ornament because the reason the commander of the USS Thomas Hudner couldn't join us for Veterans Day is because she was part of the Atlantic Fleet's task. I can talk about it now. To validate the Gerald Ford Special Operations Group, and the USS Gerald Ford is a new aircraft carrier. Okay, so the Atlantic Fleet was in the Atlantic doing their validation of the new aircraft carrier with the fleet. And I got a neat little ornament there, and a nice personal note from the family, from Shelby Nickerton and her husband and family. And she has also extended an invitation for us, anybody from Wakefield, to go down to Florida on the 7th of February, which is a Friday. And they have what they call a family day aboard the USS Thomas Hudner. And if anybody on the board is interested to do that, please let me know and I will coordinate with the ship. Okay. I also am in the process of extending an invitation to the Wakefield High School for 2 students and a chaperone to also make that trip if they're interested. Okay, 2 students that may be thinking of the military as a career. And I'll get a note. It's kind of short notice for the guidance counselor, but people keep reminding me this is the Navy and this can also change, you know, depending on their mission. So, but I'll take 3 days and 2 nights in Florida in the middle of February anytime. Okay, you know, I plan to go. My wife and family are not able to go, so, but I would like to also see if anybody else is interested in going, and I extend that invitation to the board. And I will also follow up tomorrow with the guidance team at Wakefield Memorial High School. And the other thing that I want to share, unrelated to that invitation, but related to that program that we did in November for Veterans Day. I got a nice letter that surprised me this Christmas. Okay. This is from the president of the USO. And it basically says here that it says, "Dear Paul, the USO has received a generous donation. And for 80 years, the USO has strengthened America's service members by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation. As our men and women in uniform continue to risk their lives defending our freedoms, we are right by their side, connecting them to everything that they love and they fight for. A special tribute gift is helping us to give more than thanks to our service members and their families. And thank you, J.D. Crouch II, CEO and president of the USO." And this was a resident that made a donation to the USO, basically thanking service members, their way of saying thank you very much for the program that we put on for Veterans Day. So that we got a couple extra runs on that hit, okay, on Veterans Day, and that I just wanted to share that one with you. So these are the kinds of subjects, I guess, that if we can put that into a package and submit that to the item, these are great stories about town and what the veteran community is doing and what people are doing to support the veterans community. Does anybody have any ideas, other ideas for the Veterans Corner for the Wakefield item? Any story ideas? Not a biggie. It's just something the item supports us, and this is by offering them content. This is something that we can do to help support the item also. The next item, I briefly will give you an update here about the disabled veterans earned benefits here in the state of Massachusetts, tying the property tax benefit that we receive to the cost of living allowance. I've asked Representative Wong to support this bill that is currently in flight. And what I would like to do is set up a meeting with him to discuss the importance of this particular bill. It does have the support of the other representatives, Kate Lippert-Garabedian, and it does have the support of Senator Lewis. Now that the administration has changed over, it's time to kind of get in and work some of these issues now, that they have a focus and a direction. And just to rehash this, the bill is, there are two bills that are currently in flight. One is in the House, which is 3677, and the other bill that Senator Lewis supports and has also sponsored is 2408. Those numbers may change under the new administration, but those were the current bills that existed to align those benefits with the cost of living allowance for veterans that are residents here in Massachusetts. I don't have any update on the our kind of the board charter. But basically what I will do is make an appointment with the team that's rewriting and reviewing the bylaws for the town of Wakefield. And I understand that there's terms and definitions that are tied to the words that, for example, the term bylaw ties to reports, which ties to the distribution of resources and things like that. Our board doesn't have the resources that meet that definition. So we have to come up with some sort of a different term for how we operate as a board in town. And I don't want to make it more than a page and a half. It's a small document. But I will seek the assistance of both Bob Vincent and the committee that's working to rewrite the bylaws and update the bylaws in town. You will know that that is in process when you get a copy of it for review and consideration, and then hopefully we can take a vote on it and say that that's a good document to move forward. One of the items that's in there is I'm still a little confused on it, is how we renew our roles. Okay, with a board of 10, Sherry submitted a note to 7 of us to submit the renewals. And I don't know what the process is for defining who's going to do a 1-year term, a 2-year term, and a 3-year term. And I don't know how that's going to get resolved. So that's, as we work through this, I'm making notes because I think those are the kinds of things that need to be in some sort of a charter or a list of instructions on how the board operates. So Sherry has sent a message out to the 7 of us. I'm one of them that has to reapply. I think Robert, yours is already submitted. You were the first one in the.
I put mine in today.
Okay. I put
I told her, like, you asked for a 3-year term. I'll take any term. I mean, some of us have to be flexible in order for them to get it staggered. So I don't
That's
care
what I told her too.
where she assigns me.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
said,
told her
I
too.
said
Whatever,
3,
whatever you want me to do, I'll do.
yeah, I kind of said, you know, my preference would be a 3-year term, but whatever works is fine with me.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
And I'm also, I might as well, I'm perfectly happy with remaining the chair, but we can address that later on in the year after we get through the hump of finding out who's going to reapply and everything else. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward to have that kind of a board of 10 people, to have 7 people leave all in the same month. It's a little bit awkward. But we'll have more about that next week. I think Bob Vincent is going to address the veterans budget next week at the town council on the 23rd. That might be a meeting. You don't necessarily have to tune into the whole meeting, but the meetings are recorded by WCAT and posted on YouTube. And you can flip through the meeting to kind of find out what we have to work with for the budget. I did talk to Dave Mangan earlier today about that. And he seems to feel that he's okay. There's about a $6,000 difference that he's looking at in terms of the benefits for those veterans that are in need. That's 6,000 less than what we got last year. Memorial Day. Uh, Can we agree that we're gonna do a program on Memorial Day at 1 o'clock at Galvin Middle School?
Yep.
Is that,
Yes,
that's
Yeah.
what I know.
for sure. And you're gonna give us your secret yet, or you're holding on to it a little longer?
I'm gonna hold on to that a little bit longer until we at least book the Galvin Middle School,
Okay.
okay? And I have to, I just want to reach out to get a confirmation in the current year from the individual that has agreed to speak. So I got a confirmation last October. I just want to reconnect with him and do that. I did talk to Dave Mangan about it, and I think it's the only thing I'll tell you right now, it's an author. It's a local author. That's about the only thing that I will tell you until I get a confirmation. I'll keep the board guessing. And no, Miriam, it's not Tom Brady. So,
Fine with me.
okay. He's probably looking for a place to live up in New England.
Stay close to his kids.
Yes. I did talk to Dave about the Medal of Liberty and some of the other medals that are available for service members and their spouses that we might be able to present. And he's looking into the eligibility for those residents here in the town that may qualify for some of those awards. We have plenty of time. Kind of circling back to the invitation to the USS Thomas Hudner. The first people that Dave Mangan and I talked about were the two students that played taps at the Veterans Day program and also at the Wreaths Across America program. And unfortunately, they were not available to make that trip to join the Family Day program with the USS Thomas Hudner. They've done a terrific job for us. It's Carolyn Dill and Miss Hathaway, two students that are really, really good performers and great musicians. And I just want to, mention them as up and coming, citizens and residents. And I'm sure whatever they choose to do, they're going to be great at it. If I can just go around the room, unless anybody, and then we'll kind of sort of end the meeting here. But Joe, do you have anything that we might want to add? That you can think of?
Not right now.
Okay. Marion,
Yes, sir.
you got anything to add or?
There's a lot of things that are starting to come up here, but I haven't got them all written down. I'm trying to do my newsletters for the Gold Star Wives and this events that are coming up, but I haven't got them in front of me.
Is that something that you can share with the board when you get it into?
Yeah, I mean, it's just events that come up every year, like they have, we have our conferences, our conferences coming up, our chapter meeting coming up, but there's things like the cabin fever that supports the motorcycle run
Yes.
in May. That's coming up. I have all the dates for the motorcycle run too. I'll pull it up what I've written out so far and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
All right, just what I have so far. Some of it you could just throw out because it won't be of any interest, but some of it is also, we're trying to get dates for if there's going to be a Vietnam veterans event this year, like there was last year.
Yep.
But we haven't had any notice on that. What was the other thing we've been waiting to hear? I haven't heard back from the Vietnam veterans to see if they know of anything that's going to happen. So there's things like that that we're still trying to get dates. We are, not dates, but information, because of course Vietnam Veterans Day is the same day every year and all that. But I'll send you what I have, and you can take from it what you can use, what you think it can be used.
Well, I think we're coming up on the 50th anniversary for Vietnam veterans also. Either this year or next year, I think is 50th anniversary, 2024.
I hate to think of it.
What's that?
I hate to think of it, 50 years.
Yeah,
And you know, I look at the Civil War monument, that was basically set up on the 50th anniversary of the Civil War. So talk about making you feel old.
you can't stop it from happening.
You can try.
Age is going to get you one way or another, Dan.
No, I'm gonna fight it all the way.
Dan, do you have anything to add?
No, I'll see you Saturday at the coffee. I'll do anything for a coffee and a donut, you know.
Okay. Robert, anything from the great secretary, Mr. Secretary?
No, I did, heard from Christy. She spaced on it. She said she'll be bringing the coffee for Saturday.
Okay,
And the next meeting is actually on the 28th of February. It's the fourth Tuesday to accommodate the school vacation week. I think we've discussed before.
yeah. Yeah, mark your calendars. It's the 28th of February. Which actually I kind of like it that way, because February is a short month and this kind of makes it feel a little bit longer, but it's also the last day of the month. Yeah, no, okay, anybody else, anything else? Any questions of me? Okay, well, I can give back 10 minutes of time for you guys.
Take it.
Can fill it up.
But I can't adjourn the meeting until somebody says, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Then it's got to be seconded. Okay,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hey, thank you very much for joining. And we will see you on the 28th of February.
All right. Bye,
Take
all.
care. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
See you Saturday.
Bye-bye.